Vivian here just shed for the first time since being in my care, and these colors are looking great. Looking great. Very excited to see how she develops. She just dropped the shed yesterday. I got it out in one perfect piece, and then man, I soaked it, was gonna cut it and then flatten it to frame with some of my Rhino Viper sheds, but it ripped pretty bad, so botched that, but it'll happen again. She did take a meal though earlier this week, despite being right at the last little leg of her shed there. So this is a hardy little lady. I'm gonna give her a soak now that she finally dropped it. But look at that lady. Amazing. So with the soaking, I just do once a week. Take my little transfer bucket here, a little 5-gallon bucket, put about an inch and a half worth of slightly warmer than room temp water, and set her in there for about an hour or so. And then after she's done, I'm gonna change out the water because Cirque here is gonna get a soak next. Precious baby. Vivian just finished her soak. Now it's time for her boyfriend. Yeah? Tell us more. Look at these guys. Look at these. Look at these lovebirds. Too young to mate, but one day. One day, yes. Hopefully I will make some Gaboon Vipers with them. That would be pretty sweet. It is all right, lady. See, look at Cirque, just cool as a cucumber. And then Vivian's like, having none of it. All right, fair enough. She did just get done with a bath, I guess. And into the bath goes Cirque. Nice and easy. I soak both Cirque and Vivian once a week independently, and of course changing out the water and cleaning the bucket before putting a different snake in here. But I think the soaks are important, especially for Gaboon Vipers. I think they are for Rhino Vipers personally, but they are lazy. They are lazy snakes. They just sit around. They forget to drink quite a bit, so I lead both of these snakes. I lead them to their water bowls every couple days or so and just kind of gently dip their face in the water, and they drink. They sure do. It's pretty cool to watch, but yeah, they sit and they sit and then they sit some more, and that's pretty much what they do. So you gotta keep up these types of routines. I do it once a week, like I said, for both Vivian and Cirque. And it's just, keeping their moisture and their hydration appropriate, as well as maintaining a very high humidity in their enclosure. This definitely helps. And like with Vivian, it helps. She just dropped her shed. Now, I gave her a pretty thorough look over when I first picked her out of the cage from shed, and I didn't see any stuck shed visible anywhere, but just in the event that there was some, that soak afterwards is going to help loosen that up. And even despite that, they need that extra hydration just because they're lazy. They're lazy little snakes, but they're amazing. This is one of my favorite genuses. There's so many different species and genuses that I want, but of what I've worked with so far, the Bitis, very interesting behavior, and just polite little snakes. Maybe save for the puff adder. Asajj she's spicy, but Cirque and Vivian are great. So let him do his soak now for about an hour or so. So yeah, caring for the Gaboon Viper has been pretty easy so far. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know that that's necessarily a species that people regard as a difficult to keep species. I tend to doubt it. I will say the Rhino Viper, a lot of people think that those are best for advanced keepers, and I don't know that I agree with that either, but I follow a pretty specific care guide that comes from a very successful breeder and keeper. So I think that that's made a world of difference, and that's really only why I think it's been so easy for me, is because I'm I've followed a pro dude. There's a care guide on YouTube by Willie from Venom Central, which if you're interested in venomous snakes, whether just learning about them or potentially getting them, you gotta check out Venom Central. Willie is the man. He is my ultimate favorite keeper on YouTube. He's been doing it for like 40 years. He has an epic serpentarium in South Carolina. I would love to take a tour of that place and meet him and just kind of discuss. But he breeds a lot of snakes. One of those, he's bred at least before. I don't know if he's currently breeding them, but he's bred rhinos before. He's had several of them, and he has a nice care guide. Even he breeds like difficult to breed stuff. He does the Lachesis melanosophilus, the black-headed bushmaster. He breeds those. He just had a clutch of them. They look great. That's from what I've read a very difficult to breed species, and amazing that he's having success with that, because that's also not a very well established species anymore in the wild. They're I think going pretty well endangered there. So the conservation effort that his breeding is doing, I think, is very important. But also just really impressive. That's apparently a very difficult species to breed. But yeah, care guide. He has a care guide available. I'll try to put a link in there, I guess. But I follow it to a T. The only difference is I do the weekly soak. But I for the most part follow his care guide exactly, and it's been Tropic Thunder. It's been nothing but Tropic Thunder this whole time. His first two sheds have come out in one piece. A lot of people say that the Rhino Vipers don't really get difficult to keep until around year 2, and it's because of the stress factor. I've heard that several times from different keepers. So I don't know. My Rhino Viper, he's a juvenile, so he's not even a year old yet. But I will say, in following Willie's care guide on the Rhino Vipers, it has definitely kept the Rhino Viper stress level very low, if not non-existent. Cirque does not huff and puff at me. He's never really displaying defensive body language. He's pretty cool. I think you can actually see that in some of my videos. He's a very just seemingly comfortable snake. So, and I think that's part of the care guide that Willie has, is keeping them dark. That's what I've done. Cirque's enclosure is dark. There are no lights in it, other than the ambient light that's available in my room in the daytime and when I have my room light on. But yeah, he's been pretty stress free. Has great body language all the time and doesn't huff and puff, like I said. So hopefully we'll continue that. Keep him stress free throughout his first 2 full years, and then by the time the 2-year mark comes around, hopefully the stress won't be as big of a thing to worry about there. Don't know, we'll see. But reaching out to people who do know is definitely something that any keeper should aspire to do. And Willie is pro. He's the man. He also doesn't have hair. I don't have hair. He wears glasses. I wear glasses. I mean, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Game respects game. He's the man. I love that dude, and I hope to meet him someday. But yeah, that's what I do with the Rhino Viper. It's pretty easy. It's been very smooth, and with the Gaboon Viper, it's been pretty smooth as well. The Puff Adder has been the most difficult out of the 3 Bitis that I have, which is strange because Puff Adders are usually easy to feed, pretty basic care. They don't need the humidity that the Gaboon and the Rhino need. They're a drier kept snake, so that part, you don't have to worry about keeping that high humidity up, which can be difficult. But Asajj, my neonate Puff Adder, she just doesn't, or didn't, I should say, she didn't really want to eat a whole lot when I first got her, and getting her to eat was a big challenge. I had to assist feed her a few times, and now she's finally taking meals, which is cool. But yeah, of the 3 Bitis, the one that I thought was going to be the easiest has been the most difficult so far. But it's getting easier, so that's going well. But yeah, just a little bit on the cycle of soaking my 2 Bitis snakes, the Gaboon and the Rhino, to keep their humidity up, and why I do it.